Well, because you want to run your mouth to me.
No, because you was looking at my...
Hurt, and really hurts my feelings.
All right, we're just about done here, man. Last question. The like the bag of pills, whatever it was, like I was in, I think it was
vitamins. Yeah,
what kind of? Do you know what kind of? What, like?
No.
Police officers differ from city to city, and some of them are the definition of broken. But what happens when the police officers are so ridiculously bad? It makes you wonder how we could ever trust them. Here are 10 insane examples of the worst police officers ever. Starting off, on January 12, 2023, an automobile was pulled over by police officer Jack Lowery. The driver is cooperative but confused with what the heck is going on. Take a look.
I just saw you on the center lane there for a little bit. I want to make sure we don't get me driving.
I'm watching traffic. We have people with no headlights.
Yeah.
So the reason for the stop were some minor traffic issues. The driver was allegedly driving below the legal speed limit, which is a weird reason for the stop. He then asks the driver to stop out of the car and keeps him out in the cold for a very long time.
Rental car, pretty distinct reaction to my presence, and then going like 55 in middle lane. And he didn't seem super cooperative, so I'm just gonna pull him out and try to talk him out here.
The rental car makes the cop suspicious. He frisks the driver, asks about his location, and goes through his car without asking. The driver, feeling bothered, agrees to the search just to get out of the cold. The search turns up only vitamins, and the conversation about those begins.
All right, we're just about done here, man. Last question. The like the bag of pills, whatever it was, like I was in, I think it was
Vitamins. Yeah,
what kind of? Do you know what kind of? What, like,
No, I
brand
don't.
name
You
they
can
are?
take them if you want.
I don't want to take them. I just want to know, you know, like the brand name.
I don't
for
know.
them?
Name them.
You don't know the name of them?
No.
What kind of vitamins are they?
Just vitamins.
Just random vitamins?
Yeah, it's vitamins.
Like, can you help me understand like what kind of
They're
vitamins?
just vitamin C, as far as I know.
Vitamin C capsules?
Yeah. Like I told you, it's nothing illegal.
Well, like I said, man, I just don't know.
You got a card on you?
I do.
Thank you.
Do you want me to try to explain it to you anymore right now? Or you just...
I'm my attorney. Contact you guys.
Okay.
All I need is your card.
Eventually, the officer lets the man go, but not without him demanding his card. The man later contacted his attorney about the confrontation. This is a Miami-Dade police officer making distressing remarks during a traffic stop. The driver, Gerard, found the encounter deeply unsettling. He courageously shared his experience to bring attention to the problem. In response to the incident, the police department took action. Gerard, a 29-year-old on his way to work, was stopped by the police for not wearing a seatbelt. The officer's alarming words left him shaken.
I'm going to walk, man.
No, you're not going to work.
I'm going to walk.
You're going to give me your driver's license. Give me your driver's license, registration, and insurance. If not, you will not be going to work today. Simple thing, man. This is how you guys get out here, man. Registration and
What?
insurance.
Say that again.
My God.
I was on my way to work. I didn't do nothing to the officer. He was just target me.
Did you hear what the officer said? He said, "This is how you guys get killed out here." Of course, he was trying to mention the color of his skin and the past scandals that happened between black men and police officers. Gerard couldn't shake off the fear, still haunted by the incident. The officer's bold statement left a lasting impact on him. Situations like this are just crazy. If you're on parole, it's likely that you'll get checked by the officers quite regularly, since the police wants to know where you are and what you're doing at all times. However, these two officers decided to search a bedroom of a parolee named John Granberry. Soon, they find a shoe with $6,000 inside, so they start whispering and thinking what they could do about it. As you can see, the officers are very tempted to take the money and not tell anyone. But would they really do that? Nobody knows, as the camera footage cuts off there. These two women are Mary Austin and Beverly Roberts. The good deed they were doing got them in deep trouble, and they were almost facing jail time. The police officers arrested them for feeding stray cats in the area even though that wasn't what they were actually doing. Let's see how the officers approach them.
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. All right. What are you doing?
Trying to trap some cats.
Okay. All right. We got a call that somebody was out here feeding the cats and stuff like that. So
I'm trying to trap them.
okay. Do you have your driver's license with you, man?
So the two women were actually helping the cats in the area, since they were trapping them and finding them better homes, while preventing uncontrolled breeding of them in the area. But the cops just don't want to listen and argue with them instead, telling them to leave the place immediately.
This is causing a nuisance.
You're formally trespassed from this area right here, so if you come back and we catch you out here, you go to jail for criminal trespass third.
This is public property.
City property.
This is city
and there's
property.
it's public,
Yes, ma'am.
which makes it public property.
Yeah, and the city does not want anybody feeding the animals around here because they're becoming a nuisance.
I'm trying to help that nuisance by catching them. I mean,
Okay.
they should be thanking me. I've got a trap set right there trying to help catch them and get them out of here.
We have an animal control officer that's certified for that.
I know that, and Terrence knows that I try to help him catch them.
Even though they are doing a good deed, the cops still want to arrest them. When they come back to the location after a while, the two women are still present, so they arrest them for trespassing on public land, which is ridiculous, as they were truly only doing good.
I'm going to chill for feeding cats.
Well, for trespassing, we told you to leave and you haven't left. I could take you to jail now. I'm not trying to do that. Ma'am, do you have your driver's license with you?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to do a good
Thank you,
thing.
ma'am.
I don't.
All right, Ms. Roberts. Okay. Apparently, they've had an issue with you out here before with the cats. Because you have been trespassed and you have returned yet again, we're going to have to take you to jail, okay?
I think we can all agree that feeding cats should never lead to a police confrontation. In a doctor's office, a police officer holding a gun faces off with the doctor. When the police officer requests the doctor to depart, the doctor, convinced that he's on his property, refuses to comply. They then engage in a heated argument. Take a look.
What are you doing?
What did
To send me a routine to.
You're on my property. Leave.
Stay in the car.
No.
Galena.
You're in my property. You can get off it now.
It's your property?
I own it. You can get off it now.
Okay, can you show me?
I don't have to show you anything.
Okay, but you first off don't drive up on a police officer that's sitting there like that.
You don't swear at me.
Okay, well.
You don't sit on my property without asking.
I didn't know it was your property.
Please leave the property now.
Okay, well.
You're trespassing. There's signs that say trespassing.
What? I'm not trespassing on your property.
Please leave the property. Okay. I got stuff to do. Come on, be on your way.
No, I'm going to figure out whose property this is first.
Get off the property. I got to unload crap.
Okay, well, we're going to figure out whose property this is first.
You do your homework.
So the doctor told that officer multiple times to get off the property because he owns it. However, the officer didn't believe him and wanted proof, which he had no right to ask for. Nobody should be obligated to always carry proof of land ownership on them. That is ridiculous. Let's see how the situation plays out.
It's going to be a hard time getting by your car here.
You know you're going in on the wrong way, too.
You know you're sitting in my property. What's your name? Jay Henderson.
Officer Henderson. So I also clear people off of your property all the time that are trespassing.
You're making it harder for me to serve your community. If you'd get off my property, I'd appreciate it. I got better stuff to do than to placate you on a Sunday night. I'm trying to do some work to help your community here, okay?
The doctor is, for now, still calmly telling the officer to get off his property and that he's trespassing while he's trying to do some work to help his community. However, the officer doesn't cooperate and calls backup instead.
Have you ever dealt with this gentleman? Well, he's upset that I'm parked in his parking lot. Type in a report, and he comes rolling in here like he's about to assault me with his car, and then he's mad at me that I cuss him. So, now he's videotaping.
It's funny how the officer is just looking at the camera while explaining that story, with the look on his face that's unnecessary in this situation. He's basically looking at the other officer like the doctor has done something absolutely bizarre, when in reality, the situation is not that complex at all.
Because you're blocking me from doing work on my own property. So could you just ask him to maybe back up so you can drive? I did. He jumped out of his car, swore at me, told me to get my hands up and so forth. And he's not getting out of the way. I've asked him about 5 times. Okay. I pay $24,000 a year in property taxes. Get off the property.
The doctor persists in challenging the police officer, mentioning his property taxes and reminding the officer of his duty to resolve the matter. But then, another officer arrives and now there's 3 of them versus 1 doctor.
Is there a reason you're sitting on my property blocking me from doing work? Now there's 3 of you. You want to use some of your guns and tasers and shoot me and beat me down?
I could very well cite you for careless driving if I wanted to.
Go ahead, please do it. You got 2 of your other folks here. I'm going to attempt to drive a little further now.
Why don't you sing, Todd? I think he's issuing you a citation.
I'm not making any deals. Cite me.
No, I'm not going to cite you because I don't want you to take it as a contempt of cop, okay? So that's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to cite you.
Get off my property. I pay $120,000 in property tax
how
across
much
the
you
street.
pay in property tax.
I pay your salary. Get off my property.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
No, you don't.
No problem. I don't care.
Now the officers start laughing at the doctor, even though they all know very well that he's speaking facts right there. Let's see what they have to say now.
Be on your way.
Okay, so how about this? Every time that there's a homeless person sleeping on your property,
I take care of them. No, I don't want you taking care of them.
Hey, I just want to let you know you're doing a really good job of that.
City of Aurora's inspection division. You tell them they'll cite me $55 for a shovel in the snow. They'll cite me for my trash. You tell them. You guys go solve murders, which is what you told me you do when I had bomb threats on my own property. Get off. Keep going.
Okay, just next time when you do that, I don't recommend doing that.
I don't recommend you sitting here on my property.
I didn't know that you had an issue with it.
Most people have an issue with people sitting on their property. It's trespassing.
At this point, the officers don't know what to say anymore, since if we were counting, it would probably be 10-0 for the doctor in the number of facts they've just stated. They all know he's right, and that's why they slowly but surely run out of words.
Carry on, carry on.
Yeah, you, sir, have a good, splendid Sunday.
Carry on.
Finally, the cops drive away, and so does the doctor. Now, this next encounter is disgusting. 2 police officers were making fun out of a woman with Down syndrome, laughing at her and hurting her feelings. Take a look.
That's gonna be my new code word.
Adding to the situation, an officer suggests a new term for these situations, opting for different instead of disfigured. The woman can't help her genetic condition, making this treatment completely unjust.
Hurt, and it really hurts my feelings.
We're told to trust the police, but how can you trust an individual who behaves like this? It's quite impossible, and the officers should know better. Once upon a time, there was a police officer called Steve Holtz. He visited an elderly man in his 70s to make sure he was okay. Unfortunately, the old man had passed away from old age, but Steve had another plan in mind. Later on, he came back to the house without his police uniform to steal valuable stuff from the dead man's home, like a fan and weapons. It's really worrying that he decided to do this just before he was supposed to keep people safe.
Disappointed I am in the actions of Mr. Hortz. When he was called to the residence, it was to render aid and assistance, not to set himself up to commit further crimes or to victimize that.
His actions were truly disappointing. Luckily, though, he's been caught and charged, which resulted into him being fired from his position as a police officer. Regardless, though, his betrayal still shows that not all cops can be trusted. In the United States, a Florida officer named Zachary Wester ended up in jail for planting drugs, as captured on his body camera during traffic stops. While police planting evidence isn't rare over the span of a year, this officer's misconduct is particularly serious. The body cam recordings clearly reveal the act of planting drugs during traffic stops, and charges against innocent people have been dropped.
Yeah, I will in just a minute.
Have you ever seen this before?
No.
No, what is that?
Just hang out with Deputy Jackson here.
I come through the light, I get pulled over. All right, the deputy asked if he could search my truck. I told him, yes, he may search my truck. I'm sitting on the bunker right now. He goes in the passenger side. He sees, I don't know, God knows what. He goes around to the other side, the truck going on open, and he comes back with a spoon, which is what I use to eat my yogurt with. And in the spoon, there is laying a little bitty, like, I guess, a little tiny bag. He says it tests positive for methamphetamine. So I guess I'm going to go to jail, and it damn sure ain't mine, and nobody's been in my truck but me.
Return presumptive positive for methamphetamine, okay? I'm just letting you know, okay? Honesty's gonna go a long way with me, okay, man?
Yeah.
All right, I've got to test this. The center console.
No way, man.
All right, look, man. It did field test presumptive positive for methamphetamine, okay? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I read you your rights, will you talk to me?
I talked to you, man.
Okay.
I'm just saying, man. I ain't just, dude. I'm just.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court.
I didn't know there was anything in there,
Right,
sir.
right.
I'll put my son's life on it.
I got you, man.
The seriousness.
I got you. I got you. Got a little bit of meth on him. Paraphernalia, did felony DWLSR. He put a pipe in between the front driver's seat and center console, and I tried to get it out. I broke it, but I still got it. It's on my body camera and stuff, man. I treat everybody with the same amount of respect they treat me. All right, you've been nothing but respectful, okay? I couldn't ask for you to be any more respectful, man. I'm just trying to figure out how that stuff got in your car. You're gonna go to jail today for possession of methamphetamine, okay? It was in your vehicle right there at the center console. All right.
Come on, man. Please.
I don't have much discretion with a felony charge, buddy. I don't have much discretion with that, man.
Dude, man, my mom was going to work. Oh, man, dude, I'm serious, dude.
Zachary Wester was found guilty of planting drugs on innocent drivers. We'll see the victims of his actions share almost $1 million in a federal court settlement, according to sources known to the Tallahassee Democrat. Over 30 individuals who were arrested by Wester, formerly employed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and subsequently filed lawsuits, reached this settlement agreement on October 11th, following a full day of discussions in the U.S. District Court in Pensacola. While the exact terms of the settlement were not disclosed publicly and remain absent from court records, the Democrat has verified that the total compensation is just short of 7 figures. The sum allocated to each of the plaintiffs varied, ranging from just below $20,000 to over $70,000, contingent on the nature of the harm they endured. Those plaintiffs who experienced child custody issues as a result of their wrongful arrests received the highest compensation. This is yet another instance of intolerance in America that made headlines, featuring a police officer involved in ethnic profiling. Aaron Joseph and his cousin experienced police harassment when they were pulled over after leaving a store. The officer pulled them over because they were allegedly acting suspicious.
For what? Because I told you to.
You haven't have a reason, sir. You didn't pull me over. But you didn't pull me over.
Get the license out, or I'll hit for a backup, and I'll take
your
you out
supervisor.
of the car.
Call your
Get your
supervisor.
driver's license
Call your
out.
supervisor, sir.
Get your driver's license out right now.
Call your supervisor.
Get
Please
your
call
driver's
your supervisor.
license.
Because you're not pulling me over,
You
neither.
get your driver's license
Call
out
your
right now.
supervisor.
Show me ID.
Call your supervisor.
What do you need my ID for, sir?
Well, because you want to run your mouth to me.
No, because you was looking at my license plate for what?
Exactly.
For what?
You don't have the right to run this.
I got my rights
You
to
don't have
do
the right
anything
to run
I
this
want to
plate.
do. I'm a police officer.
You can't run this
That
plate.
doesn't mean anything.
License out,
That
or
doesn't
I'll
mean
pull
anything.
you over and I'll tow your car.
Right off the bat, it doesn't look like this conversation will end well.
Not committing any wrongdoing, the officer pulled them over, claiming they looked suspicious.
We requested a supervisor.
I don't mind showing you my driver's license,
me your
but
driver's
what is your reason that you're asking?
Because.
Why?
Because you're acting suspicious.
About what? We was in there shopping.
I said, show me your driver's license.
What is the suspicion, sir?
Get your driver's license out.
You can't
Just
state
show
the
me your
suspicion.
driver's license. That's all I
Sir,
want to see.
you're not explaining to me. You didn't pull
I'm
me over.
explaining to
You
you.
jumped out your car and asked me, did I want to?
Investigation.
What are you investigating?
Even though the driver asked him multiple times, the officer still didn't want to give him a reason for his suspicion. Let's see how things play out.
In there shopping. I paid. I paid for everything that I bought.
Get your driver's license out.
Sir,
show me your driver's license. If you don't got no warrants or nothing, you're gone. I don't have no problem.
What is the reason that you're stopping me?
I'm not going to argue with you no more.
I'm not arguing. I'm trying to understand something.
What's your name, officer? That's all I want. Because we're following
your driver's license and you can go.
We asked for a supervisor. You denied us that.
I'm not going to get a supervisor.
I'm asking for your name.
I'm off-duty employment.
You're off duty?
Exactly. Off-duty employment.
If you're off duty, then why are you stopping people?
I'm stopping you because you're suspicious.
Why are we suspicious?
Well, what'd you come back around for?
Because I want to know
No, you jumped out of the car on us because we looked at you.
Because I don't know what you guys are doing. Now show me your
You don't know what we're doing? You just seen us shopping.
Show me your driver's license.
You don't look. You see all these bags in the back of the car? We just came out of the store seeing you, so you know what we're doing.
Driver's license.
You know.
The officer still doesn't want to have a calm conversation and keep demanding the driver's license. Eventually, though, an Indianapolis Metro police officer arrives to the scene and lets the man go.
I know he couldn't really articulate what he was trying to say.
Yeah, as far as I know, based upon what happened, I don't think either of us have any reasonable suspicion to believe that there's a crime taking place.
Right.
It says there's no reason for a traffic stop at this point.
Right.
So there's no legal requirement for you to identify yourself to an officer at that point. So if you don't want to give him ID, then you don't have to give him ID at that point.
And we tried to be calm and talk to him like that, and he just. I don't have to tell you anything. He's leaning in the car, spitting all in the car. He's just, I don't know if he's having a bad day. His wife left him. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know,
Your
man.
guess is as good as mine.
But hey, man, I appreciate you,
as far as
boss.
I'm concerned, you guys are good to go. All
yes,
right,
sir.
take care, all right?
After the police station reviewed the recorded footage, they fired the officer only 2 hours after the stop. It often happens that police officers get to search people's homes. But what happens when they turn into criminals and start stealing from the house they're in? Take a look.
Put him in my shirt.
They didn't know their body camera was on, so their stealing was recorded on camera while they were taking several valuable items from the home.
Got hot. They can come in. Yeah.
They were later charged and faced severe consequences for their actions, as they should.